Good morning, everybody. This is Danny from Deep South Homestead. Guys, we're out in the greenhouse this morning ahead of Tropical Storm CRISTOBAL. We got to do what we got to do, guys. We've been in the field all morning trying to gather everything we can gather. Now we've come down to the greenhouse, and you know, I'm kind of one of them kind of people. I just want to take time before something like this comes in. I want to get some video of everything in it just in case something happens, because you don't never know. So let's take that one last tour ahead of CRISTOBAL and see what the greenhouse looks like. Alright guys, now we're over here at the tomatoes on the other side of the greenhouse. Now this is the place where we had the problem with what we believe to be the grazon in our soil down here, up underneath here. Now guys, these tomatoes are beautiful in color, but the tomatoes are elongated. Now they're all over these things here, everywhere, but they're elongated. And this is the celebrity. The celebrity tomatoes are not an elongated tomato. Now, this is one of the characteristic traits of the grazon being in the soil. Now the leaves, I don't know if I can get a leaf up here where you can see them or not and actually make them out, but you can see they're just, let me see if I can reach up here and pull one down. They're just kind of twisted up. They got an unusual look to them. See if I can get this thing to focus here a little bit. Not wanting to focus on it, but they're kind of twisted. But guys, look at the height of these plants. They grow all the way up to the top of my greenhouse up in here. Now there's nothing wrong with the growth of these plants. These plants are growing like crazy. It's just that they talk about in the grazon site where the bottom leaves, you'll see the plant pulling out from the bottom first. Well, that's what's happening. The leaves are beginning to pull out from the bottom, but they still have a weird look on the end of the leaf here. Look at these. I don't know if I can actually get this here where you can actually see it or not. I can get that thing, if I can get the lighting just right. That's the problem, is with the lighting. But the leaf doesn't look like a tomato leaf. It looks very awkward. Let me get that where you can see the end of it. See it against that white? It's all got little pointed lobes on it and stuff like that. It's not, they're just not normal. The leaves everywhere on here are not normal. You can look up at the top, see how thin and scrawny the leaves are? These are signs of grazon being used on the plants. Now, there's lots of tomatoes on them. If I show you the tomatoes, I mean, you look at this. Look at that. There's tomatoes literally everywhere in this plant. There's tomatoes. So it plays no part, evidently, in the production of them. But they are elongated. So we probably will be digging all the soil out of this bed this winter. We're going to leave these plants in here. Now we did come in here and we did plant a sunflower in here. Sunflowers are supposed to pull that stuff up out of the soil. You're just not supposed to eat the seeds. You know, supposedly the chemical locks itself up in the stalk and the seeds and everything. And we'll probably throw the sunflower away and get rid of it and dig all this soil out of here this coming fall and get rid of it. But we're going to let the tomatoes pull out as much stuff as they can so that we make sure we get as much of that out of our soil right here as possible. Now we're going to look down here at these other tomatoes. Okay, and I know a lot of y'all are going to ask the question, are y'all going to eat those tomatoes? You know, well, from here to here, the answer is no. We're going to let them grow. We're going to let them pull as much stuff out of the soil as they can. We're going to just watch and see what happens. I mean, we're going to learn from this experience, because technically we don't need this section right now. We've even went as far as coming here and plant a sunflower in it, because the sunflowers are supposed to help pull that stuff up out of the soil and lock it up in the stalk of the sunflower. So we'll be able to take them out. We'll take all these tomatoes out of here and everything, and we'll just discard them. But now from this point forward, we'll probably keep these, because these tomatoes look fine. They're the normal shape. The normal size, like they're supposed to be. There's nothing unusual about them. As a matter of fact, we've already been picking them and eating them. We don't really see any problems with these here to mention. But it seems like that when we put the dirt in here, that from those 2 plants forward is where I really got into the cow manure that had the grazon in it. So we're going to, we're going to get rid of those. And we move over here, we can see that we have these tomato plants. They're doing okay. I have to come in here and water them every day. I mean, it's just an issue because they're in pots. I got to do a lot more watering with them. And guys, we have the sticky traps. Now, a lot of people is asking us about insect control. These sticky traps are covered up in insects, wasps, white flies. I mean, you name it, it's all on these sticky traps. On both sides of them, they are literally covered up. Because we do have a little bit of a white fly problem in the greenhouse here. That's one of the issues that we had early on in the spring. It's something that we just have to deal with here in the south in the heat. We didn't want to come in here and spray a bunch of chemicals and pesticides and stuff like that. So we bought the little sticky traps and we have them hanging throughout the greenhouse. And they all are just getting matted with white flies. And one thing we're learning which plants seem to have problems with the white flies. The main ones are tomatoes and squash. That's the 2 main ones we found that seem to have the most problem with white flies. Now they will go to the peppers and stuff like that, but it seems like they go to the tomatoes and the squash first. Okay, and the next thing is our green beans. Now this here is the contenders. They're about to run their course, but guys, look at this. This is the 3rd blooming of these green beans. I really didn't expect them to make it past the 2nd blooming because of the heat and everything down here. Now the plants are showing some signs here, the stress and the disease is starting to hit them. But it don't matter where I pull them back, they've got some nice beans on them.
But this is June.
This is June. This is way out of the normal for us. I mean, way out of the normal. Normally everything's gone by now. But the greenhouse, for some reason, they are still hanging in here in the greenhouse. And that's perfectly fine. Now, not only is it the green ones, you can see here I've been picking the yellow wax beans, the Cherokee yellow wax beans. They're blooming the 3rd time also. When I move them leaves back, there's nice beans up under there.
And they don't seem to have the disease as bad as the...
Nope. And, I mean, you can look at the bucket here. You can see some of the things I've been picking. Look at these big old tomatoes here. Big old tomatoes. Got one there. Look at the yellow, Cherokee yellow wax beans. Them things are beautiful, guys. We don't seem to have as much trouble with them as we've had with the contenders. We planted a few more of them than we did the contenders. So the green beans is going to be a yes for us in the future. We're probably in the new greenhouse going to be growing green beans in there a lot earlier than what we do normally, because if we can get it where we can cover it up, they've proven that they will produce in a greenhouse through 3 bloomings, and we plant them at their normal planting time. Actually later than the normal planting time because we didn't have the greenhouse finished. So we're learning from how things grow here in the greenhouse that that next year we might be able to do some things a little different if the storms just leave our greenhouses alone. Another thing about the greenhouse is our fruit trees in the greenhouse. We have a lemon tree here, a Meyer lemon. Guys, this is its 3rd time to bloom this year. Now, why? I don't know if it's the fact that the mornings would get cold, get hot, get cold, get hot, and then stay hot for a period of time, then get cold and hot. But it's on its 3rd blooming. I actually have 3 different sizes of lemons on here. I have the first ones right here, the old big ones. Then I have the second ones right here. And now I have a bloom again. They're actually blooming again. So why? I don't have a clue why. And smell, oh my word, it makes the greenhouse here smell like you're just in a garden of flowers. I mean, it's beautiful in here. The smell makes it very beautiful inside the greenhouse. And would you look in the pot here? You know what this is? This is a miniature orange tree. This is called a calamondon. We got these from Gurney's. It's a dwarf tree. They don't get very big. We decided that we wanted to try some dwarf oranges here in the greenhouse. So we took one of our pots and we actually got it in here. We actually have 2 of them in the greenhouse. I bought 2 of them just to see how they would do, because we love oranges. We have our Louisiana orange outside that is loaded, but in the greenhouse I wanted to try to get a fruit orchard growing in one of the greenhouses and use dwarf trees in here and just see, hey, can it be done in the South growing fruit in a greenhouse in the summer? Alright guys, and here we are back at this massive cucumber problem that we have here. When you look at all this down in here, you would think, well, there ain't no leaves left in here. This thing's probably about run its course. And that's what I do is every day I come through here, like these leaves, I just clip them off and drop them to the floor, because there are leaves that are showing some issues of having problems. And you would think that that would be detrimental to the plant, but let me tell you something. It's not detrimental at all. Look at here. You see that right there? And then if I was to, these leaves have got to come off of here because they've got problems. And when I take them off, look up under in here. Look hanging in there. There's more cucumbers. And just as you come up the plant, like right here, stuck off up in here. Look at this one right here. Another big one stuck up right there. As I get rid of the leaves I don't need up through there, and people ask, do you prune cucumbers? Yes, I prune cucumbers. Look in the back right here. We got another one back here hanging in there. And right here in front of my face, look at this one hanging here. And the wire back yonder in the back. If I was to move, you see the one hanging way back yonder in the back. There we go. See that one hanging back there? And then the fact that it runs so high up in the air up here. I mean, I have some of these leaves up in here, the tall ones. I have to come up here and I have to be constantly pruning these leaves, but look what's hiding behind them. There's there. And here's a really big one right up there, laying on top of that board up there. And if you look coming across, look hanging here. There, even way over to the other side of the greenhouse over yonder is another one hanging. So Wanda and I have learned that in the greenhouse, 3 plants is all we need. We have picked probably 200 to 300 cucumbers off of these 3 plants. We originally did this, said, we just want a couple to eat every now and then. No,
Jolly green cucumber has just took off.
it's taken over. This has been a surprise to us. We have canned and sold and sold and canned and sold some more. And guys, it ain't quitting. So in a greenhouse, especially a high tunnel. Now this is a high tunnel greenhouse.
Especially in our greenhouse, in our kingdom.
This is kingdom. Now this is a high sidewall, high tunnel converted to a greenhouse. And that makes the difference. You can, after talking to several people who had greenhouses, the ones that start at the ground and come up 3 feet and just make the little hoop over and got like an 8 or 10 foot top, you can't really do a lot in them in the summertime without taking everything off of them. But this high sidewall one with the big hoop at the top, way up yonder, the heat can rise and get away from everything way up there. And you've got the open sides at the bottom that lets the airflow come in here. Guys, this thing has proven that the information I got from people with greenhouses has proven to be accurate so far. Now later in the summer, maybe a little bit different. But right now, it's working out beautifully. Alright, one of the other things that we're actively experimenting with is pineapples. Because pineapples come from a tropical region. And we figured the greenhouse is going to be warm, so we want to experiment with them. Now we've tried them in our other greenhouse back here that gets just super hot. It gets too hot to do anything in. Now we have one we left in there on purpose, and guys, look, that thing gets between 120 and 140 degrees in there. That pineapple is up huge. I mean, it's taken over the area that it's at, so the heat doesn't affect the pineapple. Now in this greenhouse, we have 2 of them here that are our own pineapples here from Deep South Homestead, and they are doing fairly good. I mean, we just moved them to pots this year, and it seems like they're getting a good root system. I mean, look at the colors. Look how deep the color is on these. the stems are getting way out here. Now we have to come in actively every so often and prune them where they don't, you know, stick out in the aisle. But these things are doing really good in the greenhouse. So pineapples in a greenhouse in the south looks like that might be a plus for us. Now as we move down, here's our other Calamundan dwarf orange here. We pruned back a little bit of it because it was kind of tiny and little. We want to try to make sure it has an opportunity to get a good start, because we want to be able to make sure we have oranges in the greenhouse. And then right beside it, guys, I want you to look at this. This is the Empress Dwarf Peach. Look at this. Look at that. That is the most amazing looking peaches I have ever seen. What I want to do is let's just feel of them. Oh, I lightly touch it and I can feel it giving a little. Look at that. I barely touch it and it comes off. Look at that. You cannot beat that for a peach. Now, if that one's ready, that tells me that these others in here are probably the same way. I lightly, yep. Look at that. Get the brush, the weeds off of it there. Look at that. Beautiful.
That's normal size peaches.
That's a normal size peach right there. And God, this is 1-year-old trees.
We just planted them.
Yeah, let me look here if this one. Yep, that one ready. Just touch it and it fell off. These are the same size peaches that you'd get out of the grocery store. Look at that. Blemish free.
Chemical free.
Chemical free. Nothing wrong with them. 1-year-old Empress peach. Growers Solutions. Guys, if you're looking for these dwarf peaches to go in your containers, in your maybe you have a sunroom in your carport, something like that. Maybe you bring them in the garage and you can get a grow light on them in the wintertime or something. These things are amazing. We will be ordering more of these from Grower Solutions to go inside our greenhouse here. And make sure I don't leave none. Nope. 1-year-old tree already producing peaches. Okay, we're picking our patty pans in here. We've been picking a good bit of them off of here. I really didn't know how well they would do, but they're doing pretty good. We got a plant here. We got a plant over on the other side over there. It's got several on it. So they're actively turning out pretty good here in the greenhouse. Now this is our Owari Satsumas. Hand pollinated them. There's several Satsumas on these trees. Look at all of them. I didn't want to overdo it because I knew the tree was little and it was just getting a root system established. This coming winter I'll probably put it in an even larger pot here in the greenhouse so it'll do better. But guys, dun dun dun. Look at this. These are my sunflowers. Look at them. Get a few of these weeds out of the way here.
And how long has it been since you planted those?
These are
10 to 12 days?
About 10 days. These will be about 10 days.
From a seed?
From a seed.
In a pot.
Yes.
In a greenhouse.
In a greenhouse. These are just, and I haven't even, to be honest with you, I'm going to be honest, I haven't maintained these things or done anything. This pot was actively fertilized and took care of when we first started. It had a plant in it that died, and I took the plant out and I put the sunflowers in it. As a matter of fact, it had a peach tree in it here. That's one of the peach trees we had here that didn't make it, one of our little ones that we ordered. So I just stuck the sunflower seeds on each side and said, hey, I've already got a pot here. Let's just use it. It's already been fertilized.
So Sunflower Showdown 2020, Danny's already got in 10 to 12 days, what, a foot tall?
Foot tall, a little bit more than a foot. But the color is what's giving me away here. This color is not right for me. So I know what I need to do. I'm probably going to actively start doing it today so I can darken these things up. Because see the difference in colors? I mean, I know it's hard to...
They should be darker.
See the difference in the colors there? They should be like this. And they're like a pale color. So that tells me what I need to do. Here, we have a miniature banana tree given to us by a subscriber. Now this makes me happy. Because if this thing will grow in my greenhouse and not be a huge giant tree and grow in a pot and make me bananas, I will be tickled pink. Okay, we're on the other end behind the cucumbers here. Guys, this is our yellow Marconi pepper. These seeds was given to us by JM from the Nut House a couple of years back. They're still good. I want you to look at the peppers here. Look at that. Look at that yellow Marconi. It ain't even started turning yet. It's beautiful. And you come over here, look at these. Got some here. Another one there. And the plants, they're coming all on the plants everywhere. Now guys, this is the part of the bed down here that got a little bit of the grazon in it. It didn't get much because a lot of the plants are doing okay, but the strawberries are struggling. They come on, they die. They come on, they die. So we know there's some grazon in this. So what we're going to be doing is we went ahead and put Malabar spinach down here and some flowers. We're just letting it grow as a cover crop in here, plus to pull stuff out of the soil. Now we're not eating this Malabar spinach, and we're definitely not eating the flowers. So we're just trying to let stuff pull as much as you can out of the soil this year and using it as a cover crop. And then next year we'll come in here. We may take a lot of this soil out of here and just put some new soil back in it. Alright, this is another one of our fruit trees here. This is a North Star miniature blueberry. Matter of fact, there's one ready right there. A little small blueberry. We're going to take it off of there. We don't want to waste it. Yeah, that's good. So we're trying to make sure we get some blueberries going in the greenhouse here. We want as many different kind of fruit trees in here as we can get. You see, when we open the doors up, look what happens when you open the doors up at a greenhouse. Look at all the bees all just come in here. Guys, we don't even have to do any hand pollinating anymore. They've learned the routine. They wait on us to open the doors up. Isn't that amazing how nature learns? When you open doors, they sit on the outside and wait, and when you open doors, they just come in. I think that's really cool. Over here we have our, this is our giant flat-leaf Italian parsley over here. Ms. Wanda's been harvesting off of it and dehydrating, and it's still growing fine, doing good. And then we have, look at this asparagus. We have asparagus here. Then we have these tops that pop up back here. I come in here for her, and I'll snip them off and give them to her. And then we have our...
That's a snack.
That's a snack for her. We have lizards in here. I've seen it. He's going back across yonder. But these things are falling over here. Then we have our curly leaf parsley here. Now this one we've harvested off of it, dehydrated. I sprayed it down with water pretty heavy. It's doing really good in here. These are our Cherokee yellow wax beans. I've already picked these this morning. Guys, they've bloomed 3 times.
They're blooming again.
And they're blooming again. Look at this. They're putting on new blooms in the tops. This would be the 4th time. And little beans. Now, I don't know if they're going to make it through this heat. I mean, I don't know, but...
This is June the 6th.
We don't usually have snap beans or green beans this time of the year. They're usually long gone by now in the heat. But anyway, as we move back across, this is our other Awari Satsuma. Look how beautiful. Those things are so... I love Satsumas. Then... I didn't pollinate a lot of them on this one because, you know, I didn't want it to be overloaded with them. I mean, the tree's kind of tiny.
But it's still got a lot.
It's probably got 20 on it, maybe, something like that. I didn't want to overdo it.
The new growth, look at there.
Yeah, I was looking at the new growth down here. I let it actively come out lower because it's in a pot. I don't mind that. And then here... Now this is the way the tree arrived to me. This is a miniature Meyer lemon. It came with no leaves on it. The tag, get it out of the dirt there where I watered it the other day. It's a dwarf Meyer lemon. I hope that it makes it. It's from Gurney's. Didn't have no leaves on it. Looked like they pruned it back pretty heavy whenever they got ready to ship it. But
and two, it's really, really green. So let's hope.
Let's hope that it makes. It's pretty green.
So that would give us a dwarf lemon.
A dwarf lemon. Yes, we have the large Meyer lemon, and we have a dwarf. And here's our other Empress peach guy. 1 year old. Look at this. Beautiful. I have the shape I want here. Now I'll probably take this limb off right here. But other than that, I've got the shape that I want. And it's growing up. I hope that it does wonderful in here. I'm going to actively put it in a larger pot this winter because I think the pot's this is a 15-gallon pot. It's all I had at the time. I think I'm going to up it to a 25 or a 30-gallon pot. I think that would probably do a lot better.
And we took the peaches off this one the other day. We've done eating them.
Yeah, we did a taste thing on them. Yeah.
So hopefully that video's up before this one.
I hope so. I hope Ms. Wanda has a chance to get it up before this one. And then we come around. These are our peppers. Finally, it got warm enough. The soil in the pots has been so cold, and the air coming through here has been so cold. The peppers have just been sitting, but now, oh, now.
They are loaded.
They are loaded with little banana peppers. We love our banana peppers. I mean, you come up in here and you look in there at all them peppers hanging in there. They're just, everywhere you look, there's a banana pepper, you know, so, and it's not just, it's every plant's that way. These things are just beautiful.
Got all kinds of blooms.
Blooms and peppers and we got, what we got, how many we got? 1, 2, 3, we got 4 pots of them, so that'll produce enough banana peppers for us to do whatever we need to. Now over here, I experimented. I threw a couple of okra plants in here. And guys, this is the Jambalaya Okra because I wanted to see how it would do in the greenhouse. I actually harvested the okra off of this morning. Now this okra was planted exactly the same day this one was.
And this one looks like the ones in the garden.
Yeah.
This is what our garden
amazing?
is doing. And look at
I don't
this.
understand what the difference is between there and here. This side had no compost added to it. So the ones right against the screen are doing beautiful. So don't ask me. I don't know. Maybe they're getting what they need there. Who knows? Then we have our tomato plants here. Guys, these are the hybrid celebrity tomatoes. And I mean, they are loaded with tomatoes. Everywhere you look, it's just tomatoes, tomatoes, tomatoes. I mean,
this side had no compost.
this had no compost on this side whatsoever.
And all the tomatoes are perfect, like they're supposed to be.
Yeah, just like they're supposed. Now we have, guys, we have these sticky traps here. We have them here, and then you come up. Look at this one. If I turn it a little bit, you can see they are covered in white flies. Now we have a little bit of a white fly problem on this side of the greenhouse, but and they're in the tomato. If I bump the tomatoes, I'll see a few fly around every now and then. So we keep the sticky traps here. Seems like it's doing a good job about
keeping them under control.
Keeping them under control. It's not getting rid of them. It's just keeping them under control. And I did put a curly leaf parsley here. I took it off the other one and put it here just to give us a little bit of parsley. Got some basil growing under it because we like basil with our tomatoes. These are our Red Haven dwarf peaches from Grower Solutions. We have 3 of them left here. We've got this one, which is really taken off. And guys, let me tell you something. This is the size the Empress peach was back there when we got them. They were just like this. And the Empress
March.
In March. And the Empress peach is already as tall and big as it is in Dunbar peaches. The Red Havens are just now getting here and getting going. So
this one's grown a foot since it's been here.
Oh yeah, you can look right here. I mean, you can see it's grown from right here all the way up to right here
in less than a month.
Less than a month. I mean, so this one the same way. You can see where the new growth is right here. I took off everything below it and it's done growed up almost a foot. And then we look beside it here. These are the Freedom Blackberries from Gurney's. These things, guys, I love big, beautiful blackberries.
And we've done harvested one.
We have, and they don't have a bunch of seeds in them. That's the one thing we liked about it. We have some blackberries outside the tame ones, and the seeds are huge in some of them. These are not big, huge, seeded blackberries. These are very juicy, melt in your mouth. I pruned the top side of them so that they'll begin to branch out laterally. You can see that. They're starting to put the branches on. Rather than letting them go all the way up really high, I've done that so that they would start doing some lateral branching. And look at here. This one has started blooming, and we have new berries forming on the tops of it, guys. We are so excited to be able to have that. Next is our red roaster peppers. Guys, these things have become trees. I wish you would just look. Look at some of the leaves on it. Look at the leaves are big as my hands. Look at those leaves. Some of them's bigger than my hands. This thing is just loaded. I mean, the blooms are starting to pop in the tops of it. It's just now getting warm enough for these things. Like I mentioned in previous videos, I put the peppermint in here. The peppermint has deterred a lot of the insect problems we was having. We still have a little bit of a flea beetle issue I can see in the leaves there, but you know what? That don't really hurt anything, so I'm not really worried about that. But the red roaster peppers, I came in here, I had to stake them because they was wanting to blow over. I think if these things can just get going good, I believe we're going to have some massive peppers off of those. And then we come over here. Look at these bell peppers, guys. These plants, the same way. Look at the size of the leaves on those bell peppers. Bigger than my hand. Look at the color.
They're such a deep, deep, rich, dark color.
Deep, dark green color, guys. Peppers need a particular fertilizer. We load them up with that, and they are literally, and even look in there. Look at that little pepper starting to form on it. Blooms in the tops of it. There's another little pepper in there. There's one right there. They're in there. They're doing good. Guys, we've already harvested several big old bell peppers off of these things. Ms. Wanda just makes some of the best stuffed bell peppers I've ever eaten. But that's why we plant peppers, because we love peppers, you know. And then we have, well, we got one little sunflower sticking here. I just kind of stuck it here.
This is one of mine. This is an autumn beauty.
Autumn beauties. It keeps wanting to fall over.
We didn't stake it. We just put it in here just because.
I just stuck it in here because. It's right beside her seat here. I figure if it makes a flower, she'll enjoy it. And in the background, I have 2 more okra plants there.
And they're growing because they're by the wall.
Right by the screen again, and I've harvested peppers off of them. I mean, okras.
If you harvest peppers off of that's
that
going
would
to
be bad. I harvested okra off of it this morning. 2 nice pods off of them, so they're doing very well, and they're next to that screen also. Okay, guys, we're back at the end of the greenhouse here. We have one of our Empress peaches is left here. Not our Empress. We got so many different kinds of fruit trees here. Our Red Haven dwarf peach trees up here in the front. It is, I mean, it's grown from here. Look at this. This has grown over 2 feet since we put it in here. I love it. It's doing great. We got some dill here, the bouquet dill. We got it growing here. Nice. Nice for being able to mix. You want a little dill mixed in with something, you can come out here and break these little ferns off, throw it over in your stuff while you're using it. It's really good for that if you want to pickle something. This is a bouquet dill, come from Hall's Tool. It's done really good for us here. And guys, if I stand here and you look back over the top of everything, it's just a food forest inside a high tunnel. And so far, it's doing really good. So pray with us that as this, we're going to call it a tropical storm, we're going to hope it stays as a tropical storm, comes in here, that CRISTOBAL does not damage the greenhouse or anything to do with the greenhouse here at Deep South Homestead, because this is a lot of food production for us here. And this is something that as Wanda and I get older, we really want to try to make sure we get really good at. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed the tour of the greenhouse before the storm. Because it may not look like this afterwards, we don't know. But we want to do this before the storm so you could at least see the beauty of it. Thank you guys from Deep South Homestead.